Welcome to Speak of the Devil. I am Reverend Campbell, and my audio very well may be off at this very moment. If it is off, let me know and I'll try to adjust it on the fly. I have a very special guest for today's Speak of the Devil, and I hope you guys are as excited as I am. Even if you're not, I don't give a fuck, because I'm excited. Like, I'm brimming. Erin Latta of Down at the Crossroads. How are you, my dear?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm really excited to talk to you again. It has been so fucking long. Okay, so we've got a lot of stuff to cover. I've got a few surprises if my computer isn't broken or anything, or doesn't freeze up like it is prone to do. So, gentlemen, let me just give a shout out to everyone in the chat room. Joaquim was here way early. Grigori came in early. Diva Dave, Elizabeth. I think I'm seeing everyone here. Thank you guys so much for jumping in the chat room and joining us on a Sunday. I know it's your holy day, and I appreciate you spending your holy day with us. If you have any questions throughout the course of this discussion, feel free to put them up there, chat amongst yourselves, and I will get to them as soon as I can during the course of the interview. So, Erin, can I just stare at you for a minute?
I guess.
I gotta take you in. You look fantastic.
That's my hair. I've got this cowlick that just won't quit.
No, it's great. It's great. And I love that you have this really great lighting. I'm like harsh, Scottish, blotchy skin showing. You look all moody and stuff. It's nice. Dramatic lighting. Yeah. Adrian, good to see you. Joe, my man. It's good to see you. Okay, Yaman, thank you so much for joining us. I hope I said your name right. Yemen. Yemamam? Okay. Maybe phonetically spelled so I don't fuck it up next time. Okay, so everyone... Erin, everyone watching, you are, your claim to initial podcasting fame, and correct me if I'm wrong, is Down at the Crossroads.
Of course.
Okay, so since it's been such a long time since you and I have talked, since it's been such a long time since I have personally heard you do a Down at the Crossroads, what have you been doing during this time, since 9 Cents ended, and just sort of fill us
I just wear black every day and mourn that great loss. Actually, I just try to stave off panic attacks kind of on a daily basis. Like, when did it end? How long has it been now?
So the last time you and I spoke on the air was like a year ago this
okay.
month.
That makes a lot of sense because this has been, I've heard a lot of people like complaining about 2016 being like the year from hell, but I think I can safely say I've like had a bona fide kind of a crazy year. I won't say shitty because there's been a lot of great stuff that happened, but man, I quit smoking about a year ago, like January 1st.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's been almost an entire year, and it has been really fucking hard. I don't know if you ever quit smoking or quit.
I did.
Yeah, man. I did it once before this for a few years. I had quit for about 3 years, and then I started dating a guy who smoked, and I just kind of went back to it. But then about a year ago, a real sweet couple that I'm very close to, they decided to quit smoking, and I found out, and I was like, oh fuck no, I'm not gonna be like the last of my friends who's the scumbag standing outside in the freezing cold,
right.
You know, just puffing on a square. Like, I can't fucking...
Wait a second. You were peer pressured into quitting smoking?
I know, right? I'm I do everything
What the fuck?
Wrong, don't I? But that's basically
well,
it.
Now,
yeah.
I gotta pressure you into like heroin or something, just so things the cosmos can return to even, because you're not supposed to be peer pressured into not smoking.
I could be talked into a great number of things right now, I'm sure, but probably not heroin.
Don't rule it out.
I won't. I don't rule anything out.
Nice. So, Down to the Crossroads?
I don't know.
Did you continue doing that?
I did it for a little while with David, and then David Harris, and I can't remember what happened. I think, you know what? I think I just sort of felt like Down to the Crossroads had kind of run its course, at least as a segment on a podcast. I kind of wanted to take it. I considered taking it, you know, on by myself to do an independent thing, but I don't know, I kind of feel like I maybe have talked about every blues song that can in any way be related to Satanism. I think maybe that has been exhausted. So, and blues is my great passion, but it's my only passion. I consider doing other podcasts that are music, because music is all I know. You know, I don't know. I'm not an expert at anything in this world, but the closest I can come is my fandom of music.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you, because we have a question in the chat room. Do you have any tips for quitting smoking? We'll just back up
Sure, yeah, I'm happy to talk about it. Unfortunately, there is no great secret. The first time I quit, which I realized thanks to the beautiful Facebook memories, was, I believe in 2007, I quit smoking. And at the time I was married to a guy who was in the Air Force. And so they kind of paid for, you know, sent me to therapy and, you know, ran me through a program because the Air Force, they do.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Even for spouses, they were like, go, and they put me on Chantix, and then they put me in like a program, you know, and Chantix, I don't know if anyone's ever tried taking that, is, I don't know, fucking awful. It comes now with a black box warning. I don't think they prescribe Chantix much anymore because, and when they do, it has to have a big warning label on it that says, beware, you're gonna wanna kill yourself, your family, any stranger you meet on the street. Like, you're gonna want to kill everything.
You will become a mass murderer.
Yeah, if you're lucky, you know, or you can just kill yourself first, because that's probably more likely to happen. But it was a.
But you'll be smoke free until you get sent to prison, and then you have to barter cigarettes for.
Yeah, yeah, it's a win. It's a lose-lose. So that was awful, but I did quit smoking, and I had quit for about 3 years, and it was miserable, but it worked. But then this time I really feel, I know everyone says that, but this is only the second time I've actually quit for real, and I have absolutely no intention of ever smoking again. But I said that last time too, but.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
So tips. So I didn't really answer the question at all. Don't do Chantix. What I did was just taper down till I was down to like half a cigarette a day, and then I just was like, enough already. You know, just think about. I always gave myself to 40. I turned 39. I just turned 40, so I did it ahead of schedule, but just do it. You know, don't fuck around. It's the stupidest thing you do in your day. I guarantee it. Unless I'm speaking to mostly Satanists, right? If you still smoke, it's probably the stupidest thing you do on a daily basis, and you know it's stupid. So fucking just knock it off, you know? That's basically all I can tell you. It's just shit. It's not worth it. It's fucking disgusting.
But that's not to say that after you've quit smoking, there's not other stupid shit that takes its place. Like I'm a big park masturbator. That's what I've taken up since I quit.
I took on panic attacks basically. It's like
nice.
Like actually coming to terms with who I am as a human being instead of just being like,
you're like, no.
No, it's terrible. I've
been hiding through a fog of smoke.
I've been using cigarettes to cope with a lot of things in my life that I did not realize till I finally gave it up and really came face to face with a lot of who I am and how badly adjusted I am for this world sometimes. It's been eye-opening, but it's been fucking great. It's been a hellish year. I won't pretend that quitting smoking is easy or that it even gets that much easier. Like, it gets easier, the physical wanting to smoke and shit like that, but you know, development.
I still dream about it.
Do you?
Yeah. And it's been since like 2000. So it's been a really long time, but I still dream about it. So it's not like, you know, but I mean, I can, well, it doesn't matter. It's fucking retarded. I would say, like, the best advice I could give from when I did it is you have to be able to, like, visualize yourself as a non-smoker. That sounds stupid, but it's a real thing. Like, if you think that it's a part of you that you're trying to shave off, it's going to be much harder than if you just realize that we're human beings and we're not smokers or non-smokers. You're just choosing not to do something anymore. And that doesn't change who you are or your sense of identity. And as long as you can frame that in your mind, I think you're going to be fine.
And I don't mean to make anyone feel bad if they continue to smoke. Obviously, you're allowed to make all the choices of your own, but you know, those newly converted are always the loudest. But I would definitely, it's worth it. It was worth it to me, and it feels insurmountable when you think about it. I can't quit smoking. It's just too fucking hard. But you just have to kind of take it one day at a time, you know?
Yeah. Is that when you first found Jesus?
Yes, directly after I stamped out my last cigarette. There he was.
You're like, oh, I couldn't see it through the fucking
God
smoke.
damn it, there you are, Jesus. Why'd you say something?
So, yeah. Why are you standing like a fucking creep?
Yeah.
Fucking Jesus is a creep. I don't know if you know this. So are you straight edge now?
Don't be silly. I'm drinking a hot toddy as we speak.
Ah, I was looking for the typical black box.
Oh yeah.
Just
no,
like
I'm a little under the weather, so I'm drinking whiskey.
I am too. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I know you claim that Down at the Crossroads is an end, even though that makes me sad. I did set up a little thing if you want to go through my favorite blues song. Would that be something you want to try?
Absolutely.
I don't know if it's going to work, so those of you watching,
that's surprising.
this may break, okay? It may break. And if it does, or if the audio is too loud or not loud enough, let me know and we'll adjust on the fly how this works. But you're just going to be able to see the recording. You're not going to be able to see our faces, okay? So let's see if this can work, people. Let's give it a shot.
Oh, cool.
It's only like one of my favorite
I love Muddy
favorites
Waters.
ever. Can you hear it? Yeah. Can you hear it at all?
No.
Motherfucker, really? Why can I never get this set up right? So it's Hoochie Coochie Man.
I know it well.
God damn, I'm so upset that you can't hear it. I thought I had this thing like all fucking figured out. Okay, everyone, let me know if you can hear it and if it's too loud or not. But let me. This is like an impromptu bastardization of Down at the Crossroads, since it's me talking and not her. Good, I'm glad you can hear it. Okay, so Erin, the first time I heard this song, I was in high school, and it sort of blew my mind. I'd heard like versions of it from other artists, sort of regurgitating it. But once I heard this version, like this specific version, it sort of changed the way I thought of just the way I saw myself. So this was around the same time that I was reading the Satanic Bible, and I got this sort of idea of, you know, I'm this sort of carnal animal that I never really thought of before. And this song sort of personifies that idea to me. Like, you know, there's this prophecy that you create for yourself. You're the center of your own universe, you're center of your own world. And hearing this song, I mean, it sort of brought that out in me. Like, and it's really a narcissistic thing to say, I think. Or maybe it's just my way of being, but to think that it's, you know, a song awakens like your inner God, that's like a really outlandish thing to say.
I love it.
But I think this one might have done it. This one might have done it for me. Are you a fan of this song? Do you like this?
Yeah, I love Muddy Waters, and this is a great song. It's really anthemic in a way, you know. It's just basically like how Muddy got his groove back, you know. He's a hoochie coochie man. He's gonna jump and shout, and he's gonna, you know, he's gonna lead the girls by the hand. He's gonna get what he wants. He's a hoochie coochie man, you know.
Yes, Joe, I am the motherfucking hoochie. At least in my world.
Sure.
Everyone, every girl I've ever met is like, no, not even close. But to me, yeah, totally.
I mean, we should all be our own hoochie coochie mans. That's the lesson I'm taking away from this.
I think that's a really good thing to take away. Oh, god damn it. I love that so much. All right, everyone, that was my little Down to Crossroads homage. Let me turn it off really quick.
Good stuff. I think that worked out really well.
Especially since you couldn't hear it.
Hey, I can imagine it. I've heard it enough times.
Yeah, I mean, it's really exactly like the old ones that you and I used to do. Except no one else could hear it, just us. It was really fucked up. Sure. I still did have so much fun. I still do, like, hands down, think that is the most entertaining segment of all. Aww. Because it was, I mean, it was genuinely, like, worldly informative. Like, it taught you something, not just a perspective about something, but it taught you about artists and eras and music, which is something that connects every single one of us, no matter what. So I really did enjoy it.
Oh, good. I really did too.
Thank you, Angelica. She says she's so happy to see us two on there again.
Sweet.
I think there was a gentleman named Frank or something that came in. If I butchered your name, and Deuce too. Good to see you, man. All right, so I missed the Down the Crossroads segment too, Dave. Thanks for joining us. What have you been taking your time with? If you're not sharing your passion for music, what else is taking up that hole in your life?
Well, it's a down to the crossroads size hole in my heart. I'm in school, and I have been for about 50 years. Ever? Yeah. I'm
the dawn of
inching
Erin.
ever closer to that undergraduate degree that I've earned so much. So I go to school a lot, and so I've been taking a lot of painting classes, actually, and I've discovered that not only can I paint, but I enjoy painting. Wow. It's been really fun. I have always been the least artistic person I've ever known. I've always surrounded myself with really artistic people. My brother's really artistic. He makes music. He draws art. He was a cartoonist. He's a musician now. He's all things. A playwright now mostly, but and I was always kind of I prefer to play with my horses and stuff, but I never got really good at art or anything. I tried a couple times, but I was terrible at it, or at least I thought so. Until recently, when I kind of went through classes, took some classes in school and started painting, and I found that everything's a process, and painting is no different. If you can learn the steps, you can at least make a reasonable facsimile of a painting. If it's all process involved, and I am a fan of process no matter what. So I've been in a couple of painting classes now, and it's honestly the most rewarding thing that I've ever done, possibly. Even though I'm no good at it, I will never claim to be that. Because I'm not used to being creative. I can do like the process. I can do the steps, and I know now how to begin a painting and to end a painting. But the creativity isn't quite there yet. It's more technical. I'm pretty good at taking direction, following orders and stuff. But hopefully, the next step will be then applying the physical steps I've learned and stuff to making art of my own, something creative.
Well, Grigori asked a really good question. Are there any particular movements you find yourself being influenced by?
I was compared my professor. She was probably blowing smoke up my ass, but she compared one of my paintings to a Matisse, and I really liked that comparison. I like that style, but I'm really I'm not, I'm a casual fan of art. I wish I knew more about art. I did take some art history classes. I've taken a few, but I like the Impressionist stuff. But I also like a cartoony style too, and I like bold colors. So, have you ever painted, Adam?
Yes, I have. I've got some. I hope my wife doesn't kill me. I have some nudes of my wife with a sigil of Baphomet around it that no one will probably ever see. I have posted them before when I used to be in social media, but it's long since been removed. And I used to have a website up like a long time ago with my different art and stuff, but I'm I'm an explorer when it comes to art in all of its forms, and so I'll play with something, and if I feel that it's okay, I may share it, or I'll just shelve it and move on to something else and just sort of see what feels really good for me. What is it about the process that attracts you to it? And let me pause you from answering really quick by saying what's great about art is that you're not trying to communicate anything directly to an audience. You're trying to communicate with the canvas. You're trying to have the canvas speak to you. You just got really bright.
Hi.
See, I start speaking about art and the light goes on and it goes right out again. What the fuck? But you get to pour whatever is in your mind out into this canvas or the paper or whatever the medium is, and really you're leaving it up to the individual viewer to interpret that. And however they interpret it is fine, because you've already done what you needed to do. It's very much like, in my opinion, like a greater magic satanic ritual. You're getting out what you need to get out. It just happens to be in the form of paint on a canvas usually, and the intention is there. The messaging for you is there, and whatever happens outside of that, that decompression chamber of the brush and the canvas, it doesn't matter, because the magic has occurred. You know, it is forever etched into history now. So what about the process, now that I've rambled on too long, really inspires you, because you said that was what you really like?
Yeah, it's really meditative. You make a lot of really good points, though. I'm glad you went off there for a minute, because it's a ritual.
Tangent.
It's a ritual to me, you know, and it feels good. Like, the process just feels good. I love knowing that I can create something. That is such a foreign idea to me, because I've for so long just been so convinced that I was not an artist, you know, that I couldn't even reproduce art, you know, never mind create art of my own. But it turns out that I can, and there's something about that was just like an epiphany, you know. I went to bed one night as a non-artist, and I woke up the next day and I could make art. I don't know if I'd call myself an artist. I know it was like a miracle, but no, it just took that realization that I can do this. Like, this is something, and it was really empowering. And I know that sounds ridiculous. It's from a 40-year-old woman saying that I had no idea that creating art would feel so good, but I did. You know, yeah. I had no idea. I thought I was doomed to only be an appreciator of art, you know, but it turns out I can make art. It's not great art, but it's fucking my art. And I'm really, really love the process. I don't know how else to say it. I don't care. I mean, I was making it for school, so I had to make it for the professor, you know, because in the end, I wanted an A. I wasn't trying to make art to hang in a museum. I was making art that would get me an A in this class, because I'm majoring in graphic design and minoring in art. It's you know, I have a fucking reputation to uphold. I have a dean's list to stay on. I have a GPA, you know, I got a number to keep. But now that that's over and that class is over, I'm back to doing graphic design classes. I can make my own art, and I find it's much more daunting now that I'm out of classes where I have to. No, I'm not assigned something to paint. I have to think about what I really want to paint, and it's fucking amazing. It's fun. It's really fun.
Do you think that wall that you had up saying that you were not an artist, you know, in your own head, is that because of just a vacuum of experience, or is it because of a fear that you would fail at it? Or, I mean, where did that come from, that one day you were not, the next day you were?
Well, originally, I think it's because my brother was such an artist, and I grew up sort of always in his shadow. You know, I always wanted to be like him, and I would try. And what the difference between us, I realize now, was not that he had he had some talent I didn't. He had the fucking dedication that I didn't. You know, when my brother was 12 years old, he was locking himself in his room and learning how to draw, and he was reproducing Karl Barks' Donald Duck comics and shit like that. He was reproducing, you know, he was working hard at it. And he would come out of his room and then he'd draw me a cartoon, and I would think it was fucking magic. That's the problem, is that for some reason, all these years, I would watch people make art and I would go, look at those fucking wizards. They're just making art. And because I'd grown up like watching my brother just emerge from his room with like skills, I had no idea he was in his room working hard, because I was in my room looking pictures of horses and New Kids on the, you know? It was terrible, but for some reason, and so way back then, I got it in my head, it's not for me, you know? I can't do it, it's just not for me. Some people got it, some people don't. Yeah. I didn't have it, or so I thought. Turns out it's not fucking magic, it's fucking practice. It's fucking doing the work.
Yeah, who would have thunk?
Yeah, right?
That's awesome. Cameron, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. And Adam, same with
Adam. Hell yeah. Oh, Cameron, awesome.
Okay, so Adrian asks, have you or will you paint some of your favorite blues musicians?
Yes.
Meld.
Of course I will. That's a great suggestion. Of course I will. I'd love to paint that famous Robert Johnson, but I did try to reproduce a album cover of Johnny Guitar Watson, just because I thought it would be sort of the most ridiculous thing I could paint. It was this, because it's this great album cover where he's in, it's so crazy. I wish I could show it to you. We should talk about records though sometime, because this is one of those albums that I own just because the album cover is so ludicrous. But it's him as a full-grown adult, but he's in like a baby carriage, but that he has sort of pimped out. It's like, but it's, you know, 70s pimp. And but there's a woman pushing him in this like oversized baby carriage, and it's his actual mother. And she's pushing him in this like pimped out baby. It's the craziest fucking thing you've ever seen. So I was like, I gotta paint that. It's just so absurd. It's like it's, you know, kitschy, like a Velvet Elvis or something. I was just like, that has to be preserved forever in my hand on canvas. So.
Well, we do have some photos that you were kind enough to send over of some of your paintings and just some other things. So let's go through those, and let's just, as I scroll by, they're on a 5-second timer, so we'll just keep talking about, you know, whatever element of them you want, if there are any.
Sure.
Hopefully this will work.
This is really embarrassing. This is the first time that anyone's seen any of some of these paintings. Oh my God, yeah, I don't want to share this stuff. This isn't stuff that I'm...
It's a little late now.
Well, no, I'm saying this is the first time. I'm so mortified. But, you know, they're not good. I'm a student. Let me just say that. I'm still a student. But,
I think some of these are great.
Some of them aren't
most
bad.
of these are great.
Some of them.
The cat's like, what?
I threw Bandit in there because I want, you know, in case you wanted to talk about records and stuff. But, and my cat's ridiculous. I mean, that's... Besides painting and stuff, my cat has been my one great interest. He's the fucking coolest cat. I don't know if you have a cat. I know you have a really cool dog, but...
yeah, I don't. I'm allergic to him, so
so am I, but I don't care. This
cat... but fuck it.
I take some Claritin in the morning and then just get on with my life.
Yeah. The cat looks scary. I wish I could pause this slideshow. I actually can't.
Anyone can go to my Facebook. I think... I wanted you to see that picture because he looked so absolutely judgmental and mortified by that Butthole Surfers album cover. Really, he was up there smelling. I have my records and CDs up in our loft. We have a loft, and the cat loves to get up there because he's a cat. You know, he loves to climb. So we have a great place for the cat. But I have all my records up there, and he was up there one day, and we were pulling some of them out, and he's just like. Josh was up there chasing him around with a camera because that's kind of what we do with our free time now is just chase our cat around and try to get pictures of him looking stupid or cute.
Do you guys do anything to him, like scare him beforehand? Because
not.
He does have like some, he pulls some much.
He is just, he loves the camera. He loves the camera. You pull the camera out and he will... You know, he'll start posing. He'll put on like accessories. You know,
he just puts on accessories. Turns out, like,
yeah, he's a ham. He's a total ham. He loves the camera. But that picture was Sarah. Like Josh was upstairs in the loft. He's like, "You're never gonna believe this picture I just got," because I've never seen that cat make that face before. But apparently he was smelling because the records are musty and old, you know. And when cats smell, sometimes they open their mouths to help them smell better. So that, I mean, he's never made that face before. I've never actually seen him make that face. Josh just happened to get one picture of him making that face because I guess he smelled the records. But it looks like he's looking at that Butthole Surfers album. I can't believe you fucking people.
Do you really listen to this shit?
Butthole Surfers?
To be fair, they were pretty badass in my senior year of high school.
Josh is a really big fan.
It might have been before that actually too, but yeah, I mean that's funny. That cat is crazy. You're allergic to cats. Have you ever owned a cat before?
Yeah.
This is the
no,
first?
I've had animals my entire life, like all animals: goats, horses, cats, gerbils, hamsters.
You had a goat?
Yeah, I had a goat. He was my horse's goat, actually. I mean, he was mine, but the horse was mine. Horses and goats get along really well, so I had a horse just by herself. This old mare, and she was lonely, so we got her a goat, and his name was Dylan. He was a little white goat, And one spring he disappeared, or one winter he disappeared rather, and I never really found out what happened to Dylan until about, I don't know, 20 years later, when my family finally thought I could handle the actual truth of what happened to Dylan. And apparently he wandered off like onto a frozen pond, and they found him in the spring like a goatsicle. So I'm glad I didn't know that at the time, and because when I found that, I was still awful. But yeah, so I had to go. I've had animals all my life. This is the first cat that Josh and I have had together, though, and that is one reason why he's an incredibly special cat. But we can't take much of the credit, because he is just an exceptionally entertaining cat. He is Mr. Personality.
Yeah, it's not exactly like, even though kids aren't really this way anyway, but it's not like a kid where you can claim like, oh yeah, I had something to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, he's 6 years old. He's had a single owner before, and she did a fantastic job with him. He's just a ham. He's just a sweet cat. He's a good cat. And we've known him for a while. He was a friend of ours. He lived at a friend of ours' house, and we met him. We went over there, became friends with this cat, and both Josh and I were just like, dude, I fucking love that cat. We were obsessed with this cat before we owned him. And then it was just, you know, we just wished and hoped hard enough. And so one day, seriously, like every time we went over there, like, someday this cat's going to be ours. And then one day, Josh texted me at home, at work, and he's like, Lindsay wants to know if we want Bandit, and I just wrote, yes. And
yeah,
so he's been here, I don't know, a few months now, but I swear, I feel like I've known this cat all my life.
Wow. I thought it was going to end with, like, your friend dying.
Right.
And you're like, we wish so hard to have this cat.
She fell off a bridge, and now he's ours.
Yes! I mean, yes! Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. I'm trying to look through all these damn comments as they're going by. When you mentioned that goat, I just immediately thought of like the old Warner Brothers cartoons where the big, like, bulldog or the big dog had like a small dog jumping around it, and I just imagine this goat doing the same thing. Yeah, he's like the fucking gang member or something. Cats. I want to look at this cat again if we can. Just such a weird...
Yeah, man.
I've always enjoyed cats up until the point that I became allergic to them, and then
hard.
I just stayed the fuck away because it gets hard.
Yeah.
We'll go through. Everyone seems to love your art, though. I mean, you're a talented woman, so it's gonna be if you keep practicing and keep it up, it is gonna be in a fucking museum.
I'll try. It's you know, I'm not a great artist, but I'm a good technician. There he is. Look at that dumb shit. I've never seen him make that face before. That's why that photo is so funny to me, is because I've never seen him looking like that. He's usually just looking pretty serious. He's a very serious cat, but...
Yeah. So other than school and study and work, is anything else been keeping up, occupying your time?
Therapy. Since I quit smoking, I've been going to some therapy. Yeah, really? I've been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. Oh, yeah, with a hint of body dysmorphia. So I've been working this.
I don't mean to laugh.
Please, I mean, I wouldn't have brought it up if I thought you were going to take it real serious.
Yeah, that makes me feel fucking bad.
Have you ever been in therapy?
If I would have known that, I would have written different jokes for, like, there was at one point that I was going to be on a roast panel with Erin. And I would have written jokes specifically for that had I known that.
So, yeah.
I'm a little bummed you didn't mention it. Damn it. But that's okay. Do you take a lot of stock in that? I mean, is it helping you, I should say?
Yeah, sure. You know, it's cognitive behavioral therapy that I'm doing. So it's basically just, hey, those thoughts that are constantly occupying your attention and your time and your thoughts, like it doesn't have to be like that. You can, you know, modify the way you think about you, you know, most importantly, it's like, oh, these, you know, since I quit smoking, this is all very new. I think I've always been anxious, but I just never dealt with it. I never called it that. It was always, I mean, my mother was clearly a very anxious person, and I'm sure I learned it from her, and who knows, maybe got it passed down from her too. But she was one of the, we just called her high strung, you know, and she just took a lot of pills to try to feel better and to quiet the kind of voices in her head. Not like voices, like schizophrenic voices, but the voices we all have that say, you're not good enough, what are you doing? Like, you know, and sometimes those thoughts just can get out of control, and they've got out of control when I quit smoking, and I didn't have any sort of coping mechanism in place to replace that smoking. I had no idea what a huge spot that smoking took up in my life and how much it helped me cope with the world. So when I didn't have that anymore, I was kind of left to my own devices, and it was distracting. My thoughts were very distracting. So I go to therapy, I talk about them, I think about, you know, metacognition. I think about my thoughts more, and I can control them more now, and it feels fucking fantastic. You know, it feels good to know that I don't, you know, I'm not reading a self-help book, but I am taking stock of my own thoughts and taking control of my own thoughts. It's really easy to let it, you know, for me, really easy to let my thoughts just get out of control and start controlling me, you know.
Yeah, I don't think you're the only one. And I think that's an incredibly important ability for people to develop, because it isn't something that's inherent in some people and not in others. You know, like you were mentioning, smoking cigarettes was a way of sort of laying a sheet over those thoughts that were always persistent, that you just never really uncovered before. That's for everyone, man. And what really kind of bothers me when people are strong enough to be able to admit that they either see or talk to someone else about how they're feeling for whatever reason, is this perceived fear or the reality that other people are going to see them as somehow lesser or unable to cope with things that everyone else aren't able to cope. The reality is, you know, as human beings, there's only so much input we can handle in life. And I do believe there's genetic components to it. There's definitely environmental components to it. There's just the culture in which you were raised. So being able to be strong enough, one, to admit to yourself that, you know, maybe there's something that you can learn that you can't just do on your own, and talking to someone else, reaching out and just filtering through those thoughts and feelings that you have. I mean, it's incredibly important, and it falls perfectly in line, in my opinion, with that ultimate goal, in my opinion, of every Satanist, and that is to be a little more self-actualized. Learn a little bit more about yourself, learn how you can deal with life in order so you can truly be in control, not just of yourself, but exercise your control over the environment that you're in as well. And if you can't do that within yourself, then there's no fucking possible way you're going to be able to interact and control the environment that you're in. So I congratulate you. I think that's fantastic that you're
working.
Talking to someone.
Yeah, it's working for me, man. I'd recommend it to anyone too. I see a question in the chat from Frank about the occasional, you know, someone indulging in the occasional cigarette, and I'm all for it. I mean, if you can do that, I couldn't quite do that, you know. And now that I've quit smoking, I have no real desire to sneak a single cigarette every once in a while. But some people can do it. I know quite a few people who, you know, smoke only when they drink. If you can do it, please do. I'm just jealous of people like that.
Yeah, like when I'm camping, I'll do a cigar or something, or if it's a special occasion, or sometimes I'll have a cigarette if I'm, you know, but it's rare. I mean, it's really rare. I think if you're doing it every time you drink, and you drink every weekend, maybe during the weekday too, and you're still smoking, you haven't really quit smoking. You're just a smoker. You're not just doing it from time to time. So it's something you probably need to look at if that's what you're doing. But this is the thing. No matter who you are, there's going to be activities that you are going to be compulsive about as a human being. And again, sometimes it's genetics, sometimes it's just within who you are as a human being, or how you were raised. But I mean, it's just reality. Some people are going to be able to smoke and not have any health consequences. Serious, I should say. Everyone will have health consequences. Serious health consequences down the line from it. Some people can drink like a fish and not have to go through 8 fucking livers in a lifetime. Some people will get fucking cancer after a month. So it's, you know, we can't really look at this as like a blanket life that, well, everyone can do this and everyone can do that. It's so much more fucking broken out than that. It's so much more dependent on individual and circumstance and environment. You just can't. You can't apply a herd mentality to an individual. It just doesn't work like that. So whatever works for you, I think, is Cameron, are you talking about me?
You know what's funny is you brought up the roast. I'm not sure if we should talk about it, but I wrote a joke for Cameron John, but turns out he isn't in the roast at all, and I don't know why I wrote a joke.
Someone's roasting Cameron, and he's not even in it?
I wrote a joke for him, accidentally thinking that he was in part of the dais, and then as I was doing it, as I was recording it, I was like, wait a minute, why did I write a joke for Cameron? He's not even in the roast.
Oh, can you tell?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Cameron, I'm sorry. This is at your expense.
I'm going to get to tell this joke. Is it okay? Wait, I should ask if Cameron's all right if I roast him.
He's fine. He's fine with it.
I think the joke went, Cameron John, man, I hate to think what his penis looks like, but when I do, I picture it like one of those, the bikers from Weird Science. It would be delivered a lot better, though.
Right. I have seen it. And that is what it looks like.
You've seen it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was really fun. But he's so great. He was so willing. We were at my house and he was telling me how it was. Oh, you know what? I don't know if I can say this, so never mind.
What have we done?
I don't want to at his expense start talking shit. I didn't say anything. Okay? I didn't finish it. Don't hate me. Don't start texting me. Hate shit. You know. I still love you, man. Okay, let's get off of penis. What can we talk about? One of the things that I miss most about spending time with you is your incredible sense of humor. So I'm really glad that that's going to be exercised with the roast, you know, that we were talking about. Hopefully that comes to pass. But also your ability to relate and share personal life experience so openly, so honestly. You know, thinking back to some of the holiday specials we did, or just some of the regular Down to the Crossroads episodes we did. You were always so open and honest about who and what you were. You didn't never really put up these pretentious walls that most people do.
I'm not good at that.
You know, some people. So I think that's one of the reasons why people react so well to you. You're a beautiful woman too, but aside from the beauty aspect, I mean, it's important because I think it's easy for people to hide behind. You know, if you have good features, you hide behind those features. You don't have to develop anything else. For you, where do you think that comes from? So let me try to frame this into a question. Where does this come from for you to be level-headed and so open, seemingly without fear of others, you know, negatively reacting to what you have to say?
It's kind of funny. There's two parts to that question. The first part is easy to answer, is like, how did I develop I guess a personality, though. You know, my ex-boyfriend, the guy I dated right before I met Josh, he told me that I had a ghastly personality. So I don't know if there is any personality. Maybe it's a ghastly one. Either way, but if I have developed any personality, it is because I grew up as a fat kid. I was a fat kid all my life. I was fat until I was about 25, and so I didn't, you know, I didn't have good looks to rely on. I had to develop interests and anything, because no one gave a shit what I did. I wasn't cute. Believe me, I was the antithesis of cute until I don't know when. I mean, arguably pretty recently, but so that's probably the easiest answer. Is the only reason I ever had to develop any sort of anything. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe if I was cute and thin, I still would have, you know, turned out to be the same person, but I doubt it. I'm sure I would have been a gigantic cunt if anyone had paid any fucking attention to me.
Really?
Oh, I would have been such a bitch. Oh my God. I would have been such a fucking cunt. It's a goddamn good thing that I didn't grow up hot, because I would have been awful to everyone. But but maybe not. Maybe not. I'll give myself some credit. But the other part of that, I forgot the second part of it. Oh, being open about it. That's very strange to me, because I don't feel like I'm very open, and maybe I just don't know any better. I think that's it. I really don't have a lot of pretenses. I don't have a poker face. I'm not a good actress. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I mean, as a Satanist, of course, I to the best of my abilities work, you know, the room and the situation a little, but you know, my default is just, this is who I am. I don't know any other way. I really don't. People, you know, alternately, I have people tell me I'm really fearless and really open. And then I have other people who are just like, I can't get to know you at all. You're incredibly difficult to get to know. And I guess the difference would be the people that I choose to be honest and open, you know, compared to people that I don't think deserve all this.
Yeah. But that's what's interesting is that, excuse me, on an individual level, that's understandable. But when you're doing something like a podcast for, I don't know, you know, something like 4 years, you're talking to me. I'm assuming that you're being open and honest, which means by proxy, you're being that open and honest to every single person tuning in, whether you individually see them as deserving or not. Have you ever thought about that part of it?
No, but now I will.
Now it's something fuel for the therapist.
Yep. Oh god, I gotta call him. I gotta go make an emergency phone call.
That's fucked up. Well, I gotta say, I'm really glad that you spent so many years with me on the show doing what you did. I really did enjoy all of it, and I'm really glad that you were willing to come on and share some of your new passions for painting and for learning in the arts. It really means a lot, and you're one of my favorite people, so I'm really happy to see you again.
That's sweet. You're one of mine too. I really miss our times together.
Yeah. So everyone else leave, so I can just have some alone time for fucking once with Erin. No, if you ever want to revive, you know, any form of Down to the Crossroads or something else, I would be happy to help in any possible way that I could help.
Here, folks, we're getting the band back together.
It's happening. Yeah, Adam is sharing some. It's weird saying my name.
It's weird.
Else. It's just me. I'm the only one. The only one. Yeah, he shares my ideas about that. I'm starting to feel really kind of bad. I'm sorry, Cameron. That was sort of at your expense, what we were saying before.
Did he miss it?
No, I don't know. He may have, but I feel bad about it. So if you're watching this or you're watching it back later, just know that I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make any jokes at your expense without your permission, that is. Yeah, so tell Josh... Hey. I was going to edit out those Christmas episodes that we did when you and I sang together and then when Josh confronted me about it. But I thought we were going to be talking about so many other things that, you know, if you're watching this and you didn't catch those holiday specials, I encourage you to do so. They're on the YouTube channel or on the 9 Cents website. But they're really funny. At least I thought.
They were something, all right.
Maybe they might have sucked completely. But they were fun. All right, so... Erin, are you willing to come back and do anything else with me? Hang out and chat with me?
I'm your gal. I'm your gal Friday.
Fuck yeah. You heard it here. Watching. That means a person watching. Oh, good. Okay, Cameron missed it. Okay, so, yeah, until we can chat again, I'm going to close this out before you can watch it, and then I'm going to delete the file. Until we can chat again, thank you so much. Hail
Satan.
And for every one of you watching, contributing via chat room, I really do appreciate your interaction and coming on. I know you just came on to see Erin, but I still appreciate it nonetheless. And if you want to know who I'm going to be speaking to next and when, you can either, and I'm hoping you're going to do both, subscribe to the YouTube channel and sign up to the email list. ReverendCampbell.com is the place to go for that and past guests. Thank you all so much. And until, for you, the audience, we can chat again, hail Satan.